Hello. Oh, there we go. Now we're unmuted. Hello, internet. Hello, Parth. How
Yeah,
is
Andrew.
everybody doing today? Parth, how are you?
I'm doing great, actually. The weather is nice and sunny out in Toronto. I love it.
What are you doing to me? It is gray and rainy here. The only solace that I have today is I know that I pulled you away from a team lunch, and so I can at least know that while you're not suffering with terrible gray, rainy weather, at least you had to eat your lovely, lovely meal by yourself.
That's fair. That's fair. Actually, Toronto's under thunderstorm watch, so that we're supposed to be gray soon.
Ooh, there you go. So, by the way, for anybody who is not is unaware of this, so the DevCycle HQ offices, while also being here on the internet, are right next to like a pretty massive like food court area, like new like open air mall that's gonna have lots of restaurants in it soon. So, like, little bit jealous. I saw it opens. What does it open tomorrow?
Monday. No, Monday.
Monday. So basically the DevCycle office is going to be shut down on Monday as everyone goes and gorges themselves on tasty pizza and other foods. Not even pizza. I don't know why I really want pizza right now.
There's also I think this would be the closest bubble tea store as well for us. So
the closest what?
Bubble tea store.
Ooh, there you go. All right. So if you're near our Toronto office, you're lucky. You're lucky that you've got this coming to you. That said, there's an amazing Venezuelan food truck that is open near the Victoria HQ offices, which I've eaten at once. But today I'm going to go get a round food because our round food channel on our Slack has been woefully underwhelming over the last few days. And so I feel like I need to populate it. There you go. So Slurpee saying weird flex. It definitely is a weird flex. But we're here for it. We got to flex somehow, and that's how we're doing it. But yes, so I'm gonna get a round food today. What round food? Only the local restaurants will tell. Yeah. Wait, who's this? Wish you were in Toronto. Where are you, Slurpee? Whereabouts in the world are you located? Do you know? Do you know the answer to this question, Parth? Is this one of your many followers? Where are you? We're gonna find out. I'm loving having people on this stream that are talking to us, though. This is like the best part of streaming. I am so here for this. We'll also be doing some stuff on stream today. I feel forgotten. You've not been forgotten. No. Wait, maybe. Yes. No. Slurpee, I feel like we had a conversation recently. We did have a conversation. Slurpee, we were having a conversation on the last stream. So remember I was saying that I was having a conversation with somebody on one of the last streams? This is, I'm pretty sure Slurpee is is the person I was having a conversation with. Am I right, Slurpee? Have I forgotten you from literally a week ago? Is my memory gone? If so, I apologize. But don't worry, Parth will make up for my poor memory with awesome energy and charisma. Parth's Riz is at a whole another level. I can't say these things. I can't say these things. I can't do it with a straight face anyways. Yeah, well, welcome back, Slurpee. I am happy to have you. Hold on. I need to go back to chats I had to go and look at our Twitch. I'm gonna go see because I feel like Slurpee probably answered this in one of our previous video. Now I'm literally like on Twitch looking at Twitch. Can you view chat history? I think you can, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's go to channel on Twitch, but I'm in the wrong place. Then I'm gonna go because Slurpee's gonna make me work for it today. Slurpee also learned last week all about feature flags, so I'm psyched that they're back. Stream manager. All right. Stream manager, stream summary, content. There we go. Video producer. It was on my GoRavel stream? I think it was my GoRavel stream, but I think this is a highlight, so I don't think it carries the chat. Oh, the chat is gone, Slurpee.
Actually, I see chat logs.
Where? From where? Where? On YouTube?
No, on Twitch.
Wait, where? What? Which one? From the Go Revel one?
No, you don't click on the stream. You click on the person's name, and then there's a little pop-up on the side.
Wait, what? So what? Share this, Parth. I need to know. Sorry, Slurpee, we're not doxing you. Don't worry. We're just like we're literally just investigating features of the Twitch platform.
Of the Twitch platform. Yes, that's what we're doing.
Anyways, let's move on. Slurpee will throw stuff in. But thanks for being here, Slurpee. Thanks for being here, everybody else who's on stream right now. You have showed up to the best of all the streams that we do. Now, we're gonna do a tier list today. And we'll tell you what the tier list is going to be about. But if I was going to rate this stream, this would be the S tier stream. In fact, if you look at all the analytics for all of the streams that have been done, Parth came out swinging on his first stream this year when he joined and took over for Nick here on DevTools and DevCools. Hey, there we go. Thanks, Slurpee. I remember that. I do remember now. My memory. It's not what it used to be. It's because I'm not wearing my yellow glasses. This is the next tier stream. So on today's stream, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be doing a tier list for DevTools, but not just any DevTools. We're going to be doing a tier list for the DevTools that were recently featured on the feature flag super stream. And I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to get the link and I'm going to share this out with everybody. Oh my goodness. Holy moly. I just got real loud in my ears. I'm going to share it here and then I'm going to go and I'm going to close this and I'm going to close this and I'm going to close this and I'm going to put myself in focus so I don't get notifications coming up. And I'm going to move me over there and then I'm going to close this and then I'm going to open this and I'm going to bring this over here and I'm going to share this and I'm going to present this and I'm going to mute this and then I'm going to present and share screen and window and entire screen. Oh, I can't share audio. That's fine. I'm going to share this, share tab. Oh, I can share audio with this. Okay. So, tell me if you can hear this audio when I unmute, Parth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Notes and
not last week, but 2 weeks ago, so exactly 13 days ago, we did a feature flag super stream where we invited basically every major feature flag management platform in the world to join us on stream to talk about feature flagging and kind of answer some questions. And in this stream, as part of the introduction, we invited people to kind of share their favorite dev tool. And so we had like 14 guests on, all 14 shared their favorite dev tools. And so when Parth and I were meeting like 2 weeks ago before he had an enjoyable vacation, we talked about what to do for this stream. And we thought, what if we actually go and look at all these dev tools and determine, like, are they really dev tools, dev cools, or dev fools? And so we're going to figure that out today live on stream with y'all. And so that's kind of our plan for today. So we're going to be doing this with I'm going to pause this for a second. We're going to be doing this with our handy dandy tier list maker. Do you want to control the tier list or do you want me to control the tier list, Parth? One of us should control the tier list and the other should control the actual like going through the tools. What do you think? Parth is very muted.
Yes, I was muted. I can control the tier list. Yeah.
Tier list. Okay.
Did you create one or did you?
I did not really. I kind of did, but then I didn't finish doing it.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna pull myself off screen here for a second, and then Parth's gonna get our tier list up. And for those of you who are uneducated on the way of tier lists, we're going to do a little bit of as Parth gets this loaded up, we're going to kind of go through levels of tier lists. So, is there actually like names for them? Tier lists. Oh, yes, here we go. S tier. Really? Oh, so they do actually have names. Okay. So here are the tiers. It starts with, all right, we got Parse up here. All right, so we got a tier list. Parse creating this right now. Let's do a single use template, I think.
All right, wait. Can you see this?
Yes. Yeah, you're good.
Perfect. All right.
All right. So at the top of the list, we have S tier, which stands for superb tier or super tier. So that is the like top of the line, like best of the best. And then we have the other tiers, A through D, which I think are self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I thought there also used to be F tier.
We
Maybe
could
there is.
add more tiers.
Can you add more tiers? Do we want a 6th tier? Do we want to
just
have
make the D into the F tier?
D is the F. Yeah, there's no D here. We have skipped D. You're either getting an A, you're either getting a B.
Let's change the colors.
Change that. There we go.
Let's change the colors.
All right. So this is our tier list. Parth's getting our colors made up there. So we're going to be ranking these. You can also help us, Slurpee, anybody else who's watching the stream right now, you're going to be able to help us rank these tools and rank them based on your kind of thought tier. So if you think if we are talking about them and you think they're an A tier, B tier, C tier, we'll move these around kind of as the stream goes on too. But yeah, we're going to kind of go through all of the dev tools. So I was sharing before that in that YouTube video, let me see if I can go back to it. Let me pull my screen up here. I think you can only share one screen at a time, which is fine.
I can stop.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Chrome tab. Can I share a Chrome tab without being on the Chrome tab? I think I can.
Yep, you can.
Share. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. All right. So in this video, all of these people kind of shared their they shared their favorite things. And so I have everybody in order that shared their things, and we're gonna kind of go through kind of starting with Chris. Should we also rank? No, we shouldn't rank the feature flag platforms. That's not what we're here today to rank. But I do like there's some, I want to mention Vexilla because I think it's a really interesting concept that I hadn't really heard about before. They're basically doing like a flat file system, like a static evaluation engine. It's kind of similar to like Flag D that we've played with a bit on stream before, but like done in a slightly different way, and it's all like hosted through GitHub, so you can basically just like host a static file on GitHub and use that as part of their system. But okay, so let's jump into our can I share? I wonder. That would be super cool. I'm gonna pull this off for a second and then pull it back on because now this is playing. Can I share? Stop screen share. Present. I'm having a really good time here and nobody can see it. All right, share screen. Don't show these tips again. Share Chrome tab. This one. Share. All right. So now, okay, sick. So I want to actually share the entire screen. I don't like this aspect ratio.
Do you want to click you can click the theater button there beside the, you can click.
No, I think we need to play it. I'm not going to stay on this for very long. So,
okay. Right.
Anyway, so here's where we are. So this is what we're going to be looking at. Look at that blinky guy in those yellow glasses there. So first person that was up was Chris. And Chris from Vexilla had talked about a tool called, where's my Notion page? PNPM. So let's go take a look at PNPM and see what this is all about. And it should stay on the tab. All right, so PNPM, a fast disk space efficient package manager. So it's nice. I love that we're both like controlling one aspect of this because I know right now you're going to grab like the logo for PNPM so you can add it to our tier list. All right, so allegedly this is 2 times faster than NPM. It is efficient. Files inside node modules are cloned or hard linked. Supports mono repos. Doesn't everything support mono repos?
No.
Creates non-flat node modules by default, so code has no access to arbitrary packages. I don't get why this is better than NPM. Have you used that PNPM before, Parth?
Yeah, we actually use it in our repo.
Oh, all right. So Parth, why, from your perspective as a developer, is PNPM better than just NPM?
As it says, I think it's more about like linking, and in the kind of the whole idea of like linking it with the idea that sorry, I'm trying to find.
No, you're all good. You're doing 2 things at once.
But yeah, it's like It's a quick linker for modules, like node modules, and essentially for like stuff like when you have like a monorepo where you have multiple things happening at once. It makes it easier to like kind of like grab everything. It grabs everything, puts it in like and links everything together. I think Adam did some performance, and he mentioned that this was better than Yarn.
Ooh, I was gonna say, so this, I just looked this up. This is from March of this year. This is a comparison between PNPM, NPM, and Yarn. Yeah, so it's literally the same way to use them. I don't want all this stuff. I want just like, where's my list? Where's my like conclusion? I want to jump through the evidence and go directly to the. Okay, is this it here? Compare it. NPM installs packages in a nested manager, requiring a separate node modules directory for each package. Yarn installs in a flat manner, and PNPM uses a global store for all packages and creates hard links to packages in the node modules directory of your project, which is exactly what you just said. Handling malicious stuff. I really should have my microphone up. I might just hold it here. All three package managers provide a means to report malicious packages. Okay, yeah, so no difference there. PNPM stands out in terms of disk space efficiency. Okay. So I feel like that's fair, efficient. Tree management, nested tree, flat, non-flat, package lock feature, all three. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is like an engineer's NPM, like a true engineer's NPM. It's like, how can I get like slightly more efficient in the thing that was already pretty efficient?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, more or less. I would agree with that.
All right. So let's pull up our tier list. I don't know. Maybe should we actually use the tool, or should we just talk about it?
That's a good question.
I feel like, hold on. I need to do a thing. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, go for it. And for those of you wondering, I'm just getting logos for all the stuff we're using, one by one.
All right, I needed to upgrade my microphone setting. All right, and here we go. So, do we think we should try it, or should we just rely on our assumptions? What do you think, Parth?
I think it might be easier to try some things, but harder to try other things. So I don't know where we kind of draw the line there.
All right. Oh, that's not going to work. I'm like trying to mount my microphone, and I'm sure the feedback or like audio that people are. Oh, there we go. We got it. All right. Sick. Oh no. Hold on. I apologize for the bad mic stuff that's going on right now. I'm just trying to get it strapped in. Oh, there we go. Huzzah. All right. Better. Okay, so this is what I think we're going to do. I think you're right. I think some will be easier to try. I just don't think people are going to notice that much of a difference, but I do feel like we should maybe try it. I don't know.
We can try it a little bit.
Yeah, we just need like a basic package. We need a package to use to do this, to see the difference.
Like to see the difference.
Like
I mean, PNPM is, you could essentially, like, for the basic use case, I think works as the same way. That's the problem.
I want to see, but what is it going to look like? Is it going to look exactly the same? Like, are you going to see the same thing in your nodes folder, like your node modules folder?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, let's pull up this on the tier list. So, having not used this, I personally am like, I don't think this is an F. I think like efficiency is great. I don't like, there's NPM and Yarn do a very good job. So I feel like this is maybe fairly niche. I personally think that this is maybe a C tier. But like having never actually used this, I don't actually know. What do you think, Parth?
I think in the whole scheme of things, PNPM would possibly be like a because we're looking at all these tools in comparison, I would put it at like a B tier. Like the reason is that like the kind of the best things about it are like only seen when you're at like the highest level, or like when you're doing like a very complex task, and it's not at like the level of like everyday use cases. So it's like if you have one app, one project that you're working on, unless if you are doing a lot of things in the middle, you're not going to see that much of a difference. So it's like, because of that, is like I would probably put it at B. If you are doing like very like, it helps with like build times and everything for sure. So it's like that's why I would put it like at B at the moment.
I can support that. I can support that this is like an at scale thing. This is a good dev tool, but like average developer, maybe not. And I feel like this list is going to evolve as we go through into like who this is for. Because I feel, that's the question, right? Like, are we creating this as a tool for like average developer or like corporate? I feel like this should be an average developer.
As an average developer?
I feel like this should be like, we should make this list as like, okay, you are a developer. How useful is this tool going to be for you? Like, is this a dev tool that's meaningful? I still think this lives in the middle. I feel like you're right. As a developer, like this is an efficiency thing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to leave it there, and then we can play with this as we go.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, exactly that. Like it has great upside, but only at a scale. Like only right, yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of things there. Same thing with like feature flags, right? Like feature flags are not a thing, and feature flag management platforms are like not a thing that really matters to the average developer, but like at scale, it really starts to matter. So, okay. So next up, we have one that is also, I feel like, not near and dear necessarily, but like will definitely make sense to you. Can I just copy this link? Oh no, it's going to make me do that. So next up, we had Tor from Statsig, whose choice was view sharing this tab in stream. Oh, that's because I pulled myself off. Is Cloudflare workers. All right. I actually do feel like we should try this because I want to see how this works. So Parth, we use these a lot. What is a Cloudflare worker?
Essentially putting your code, like it's like it says like deploying serverless code. So it's like it puts it as a worker on top of Cloudflare instead of I think workers is like a little thing on top of Cloudflare that makes it easier for you to get like better reliability like across the, I guess, the world, because of the Cloudflare like just network and how it works. And yeah, it's the serverless code. So it's like anything you want to do quickly, you would want to use something like Cloudflare Worker. And anything that doesn't have, in a way, it doesn't hold state, if that makes sense. I think that's a somewhat of a reasonable explanation of that.
What's a good alternative that somebody might use? This is, I feel like, useful. Cloudflare Worker alternative.
That's a good question.
Let's see what we find. Okay, so this is kind of what I was thinking, like Fastly, no viable. Oh, okay, hold on. Y Combinator, Hacker News. Let's see what they have here. There's no viable alternatives to Cloudflare Workers on the market. Depends on what you mean. There's those smart CDN offerings out there. Lambdas. Yes, Lambdas I've heard of, like Lambda from Amazon.
Yes.
Functions as a service, StackPath, Lambda. Like I'm writing thinking this is all just about serving through a CDN, right? Like, I mean, that's all Cloudflare is at the end of the day. Maybe not. Not
fully. Like it is serving through a CDN, but it's like running code on CDN.
All right, hold on. We're going to go and I'm going to pull this. I need to unshare. I need to pause my share for a second. Yeah. I want to see how ChatGPT does explaining what a Cloudflare worker is as like the, okay, let's go ChatGPT. I log into our engineering at DevCycle 1. I haven't been into this one in a while.
Yeah.
Because who uses ChatGPT? All right, there we go. All right, let's share this again at the stage. All right. Explain Cloudflare workers like I'm 12. Okay, that just explains Cloudflare. That didn't help me at all. That helped me at all.
The last part.
Cloudflare workers like a team of super fast, super smart helpers that make sure your website works great and stays safe, no matter where your friends are or how many of them want.
No, that's explaining the CDN.
Yeah. Like this is what I feel. I feel like this is explaining CDN. Whatever. That's fine. Cloudflare workers. I just want to know like the use case. Like, why is this a useful dev tool for like the average developer? Cloudflare workers, serverless execution. So like, why would you want to use these over something else?
Why would you want to use serverless execution over a server? Because they're lightweight.
Yeah, but why not use Netlify or GitHub
Because
Pages?
then you're actually deploying a server, and like it's essentially just like writing like a function and then just like throwing it on there, and it'll just like run that function.
So we're talking this, like this.
Yeah.
When you arrive, okay, launch the playground. Let's see this. Okay,
let's do it. Yes.
Here we go. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna pull this up over here. Okay. So here is a Cloudflare workers import welcome from welcome.html. Okay, so we're basically have this HTML, which is a static file that we're feeding in, and then we have this index.js, and then we have this data.js. So you're saying that this is better than, like, you could do this. Why couldn't you do this on GitHub Pages though? Like, you can run JavaScript on GitHub Pages. Although you're right, you are still deploying a basic server.
Yeah, it's like there's like, I think it being lightweight is like the biggest upside of it, and like it uses these like the Cloudflare global like CDN network as well. So it's like
I do like that. I like the fact that it uses the CDNs. I do like the fact that if you're basically like, you never have to really worry about being DDoSed if you're running on Cloudflare, because it'll control all those things. Great for security. I'm just like, if you're gonna deploy something this simple,
like, why would you deploy a whole server and a service if you're deploying something this simple?
It's a good question, actually. Why would you deploy something this simple?
Yeah, so something like a routing thing, right? Like if you just want to use a worker to like reroute something, it makes it a lot easier to just put it on like Cloudflare, for example, like on the worker, where it will take the information, it will just like do some processing to that request and then kind of send it elsewhere. Like, let's say if you want to put it on the database or something, but you need to do something else to the actual request, or maybe you have two different services that are trying to connect to a database, but one service uses a different style of request. I don't for some reason, I don't know why we would do that, but then you can kind of come to the worker, do whatever calculation, do your code changes on there, and then kind of send it to your backend. Whereas the first service can go straight to the backend, right? So it's like kind of making that it allows you to do that without kind of adding the complexity of like actually deploying something, making sure it's up, and like kind of figuring out all that at all times.
Okay, so I'll buy this. I'll buy that there's a use case for this. I do think for like a simple site, I mean, speed, reliability, like Cloudflare is super well known for all those things. I'm pretty sure it's free, which is in other places as well. It gives you a little bit more flexibility, I guess. I feel like this. I'm a big fan of like limiting the complexity in your stack, right? So like if you are publishing all of your code to GitHub and there's an option to just like deploy it right in GitHub. Okay, hold on. I want to see GitHub. I'll probably end up back here. So I might, whatever. It's GitHub pages versus Cloudflare pages. Because I think Cloudflare pages is just like a worker. Cloudflare pages does not have environments like in GitHub. Moving away from GitHub pages to Cloudflare pages. Okay, so let's look at this as an assumption of like Cloudflare pages, because I'm assuming Cloudflare pages is just workers. Like this reads like Cloudflare workers pages. I'm like gonna jump between a bunch of windows. Workers and pages pricing. Workers free, workers paid. No, so they're not. They're not the same. I mean, they are, but they're not. I just want a use case. Parth, do you have a good use case, like an actual practical, like developer might need to deploy something simple that a worker would be a good option for?
Give me 1 second.
Parth is getting it. He's creating something just so that we can prove that there's a value prop here. I do think there is a value prop here. I really do. And I know like our Jamie, who's one of our kind of Cloudflare gurus, like loves Cloudflare workers. So Jamie, if you're watching right now, like what's the real like average developer use case for Cloudflare workers? I get it if you're doing a small project, but
do you want a question from our good friend Gemini, or the answer from Gemini?
Sure. Oh, yes. There we go. We're using all the AIs today. Yes. What did Gemini say?
So it said that Cloudflare workers are a versatile tool that can be used for a variety of purposes on website. Here's a common use case: image optimization. Let's say you want to improve the loading speed of your website. Images can be a major contributor to slow load times. You can use a Cloudflare worker to automatically resize or compress images on the fly before they're delivered to the visitor. This can significantly reduce the file size of the image without sacrificing quality, resulting in a faster loading website. Here's how it might work. A visitor requests an image from your website. The request goes to Cloudflare, where the worker code is running. The worker intercepts the request and retrieves the original image from your server. The worker then resizes or compresses the image using libraries provided by Cloudflare workers. The worker delivers the optimized image to the visitor. This is just one example, and Cloudflare can be used for many other tasks, such as adding authentication to your website, customizing how visitors from different regions see your website, A/B testing different versions of your website content, transforming and manipulating data before it reaches your server. And yeah, that's kind of what it gave me.
I like the image one. Okay, but here's my bigger question. Why not just optimize your images? Like, why not just like optimize them in storage so you're not needing to use a third-party service when you're serving those images?
I mean, you're not wrong. That is what you should be doing. You should be like saving them in the most like compatible and most compressed form as possible.
And also, like, this is adding an extra step into that process, right? Like if I feel like this is maybe a thing that I like batteries included frameworks where like everything is there, right? Like you have everything in one space, but that's not the way that we work right now anymore in this world, right? We have microservices. We have like your database is hosted somewhere totally different than your front end, which is a totally different technology and stack and host than your, like everything's in a different place. So maybe I'm just not a good developer. I do like the example though. I think that was a good example.
But yeah, I also like the example of like the the example around manipulating the data before it reaches your server. And I've used it to do that sometimes. There's like places where you would want to just make sure that the request that you're getting, you want to make sure that it reaches the server in a certain way. So you would kind of route it through a worker where the worker can actually look at the whole request and be like, okay, this is what I need, send this in, and then like kind of manipulate the data however you want. This could make it so that like your backend servers doing less computation, and you're
Okay.
get kind of like you're load balancing a little bit, if that makes sense.
That I buy. That I buy if you're doing all your validation on server side, right? Which a lot of people are doing if they're using a lot of these sort of like Go or any of these other things. They're like, you're going to take in a request that's going to feed in. You're going to be doing all this validation on the server, and then that's going to be going through. It takes a little while for that form to process. So you use this as a shaping tool. Okay.
You could use it as a shaping tool. It's essentially just like a function setting at like edge, right? You're just calling it to do something, and then it'll kind of do that.
So where do you think? Where do you think, Parth? I will reserve my judgment. I want you to start with where you think this one lands.
I think this is something that like as a regular developer, or like a regular developer, not like if you don't look at enterprise stuff. I think this is where this could be in like A or B, just because like there's a lot of use cases of what you could do with it, and like a lot of people already use like lambdas and everything in that kind of sense. So it's like, because of that, it's essentially another use case for that. So it's like you have a different provider that does the same thing, where you're just like running code on server. And for that, I would possibly put it here. Like working with it, I'll put it in A for now. I'll take your judgment after, and then we can kind of consolidate our.
I do. I just thought of another use case in my brain as you were saying this, was like Discord bot. Or like some sort of a bot. There's literally in the documentation for building Discord bots now, there's like hosting hosting a Discord app on Cloudflare Workers. So like there is, Anyways,
if I remember correctly, the Slack app also asks if you are hosting on AWS Lambda or not, which is essentially the same thing. Like you could, whatever you could do on AWS Lambda, you should be able to do it on Cloudflare Worker as well.
Okay, so I buy that. I buy that. I think A tier. Yeah, I can see there being some use cases here. I think it just like, it's like figuring out where this fits, that it doesn't actually make more work for you. But I get it. I'm there. I'm in A tier. I think this is definitely more developer useful than PNPM for like your average work for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Next up, we've got one that's like pseudo developer, but not necessarily full-on developer. I feel like we've looked at it on this stream before. Have we looked at Obsidian on this stream before?
Not with me. So.
Yeah. So if you don't know what Obsidian is, what do you do it out there? So Obsidian is like a note-taking tool. There's a ton of them that are out there right now. It's all kind of done in Markdown. There's a lot of them out there. I'll share the link in chat with people if they want to go take a look. But yeah, and then I guess the cool thing that makes it different is you can do these like graph things that it's showing you here, where like you can connect ideas to other ideas. So like you can have like, just like connecting concepts and ideas between each other. So there's like a linking feature between them. As you can see, it's also built around the design of VS Code. So like it's definitely been built for developers. Like all of the design choices here are like, this is a developer tool. But as a developer tool, what do you use as your like note-taking system, Parth?
I am currently like, I think for work use Notion, because it's just like everything's just like there. Makes a lot of sense. For personal stuff, I usually end up like, I have a personal Notion as well, which I realized that you can't really put a lot of stuff on there. So it's like there's also Google like Docs, which make it a lot easier to just throw stuff and throw ideas on there. But yeah, I think it would most likely be Google Docs or Notion. And also like with the new pageless feature of Google Docs, it makes it a lot easier to like do the same thing as you would do on something like Notion. Yeah, I agree. The other downside that I find, so whereas not downside to the technologies, but more the downside, I'll share my entire screen too, because I'm going to be downloading and installing stuff, is Obsidian is desktop first.
and
I
it's
see.
not necessarily built around collaboration. So I think there's collaboration functionality within it,
Mm-hmm.
but
It was like a personal tool more than a teamwork tool, I guess.
I think so. Keep both. Stop. Okay, so I guess I've already installed Obsidian at some point, so I must have done this on stream at some point. Let's pull open. Where's my applications hiding? Where are you at, applications? Finder. Which window? It's going to be in the one window that's open full screen right now, I think. No, go, and then you go down. Where is it hiding? Oh, I literally have it open on my screen. Goodness gracious. All right. Where are you hiding? Obsidian. LMNO. Let's open you. Obsidian. All right, here we go. Loading workspace. Ooh, I got some things in here. I was obviously playing around with this. Yeah, it definitely feels like VS Code. Feels very VS Codey. Has that vibe.
Does it?
I mean, it looks very VS Code like, you know, like it's just like you've got the same kind of sides over here, canvases.
I think I would put it like very close to Notion in terms of how it looks, just because like it's like more of a blank screen with like stuff for you to do.
Yeah, kind of. I feel the same way. Graph view. I have a feeling there's probably like Git, like you probably have the ability to do like version control in here too.
Ooh.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Wait, are you saying that there's Excalidraw part of thing?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on.
That's pretty nice. I think I'm a fan of that.
Type Excalidraw in the command palette. Explore Obsidian menu. Type in the command palette. All right, let's go command palette here, and we're going to type in Excalidraw.
Can you draw, or do you have to? Oh, you
create new drawing.
Create. Oh, okay. Yes, nice.
Did this just level this up for you?
Yes, it did.
All right.
You're just drawing shapes.
Just shapes, nothing else. It works. And I feel like this is an extension heavy. This is an extension heavy ecosystem as well. Templates, community plugins, Excalidraw, community core plugins. So we've got an audio recorder. We've got this infinite canvas. We've got outlines, properties view, publish, search, slide. Ooh.
So I feel like this is something that, like, as a developer and as a student, this would be amazing to use. Like, I just feel like if I had this when I was studying, like, it would be a game changer.
Yeah.
I'm using OneNote for most of my note taking. So
yes, and so I feel like this is like a replacement for OneNote, right? Or like whatever individual thing you're using. Calendar widgets, that's kind of cool. Tasks.
Yeah, if I can just throw everything in there, that I would love it.
Templater, tables, data view, Excalidraw, iconize, outliner.
But you said it's so. Wait, quick question. Do you know if this is cloud-based or is it like local-based?
It's local, but they have a sync option. So if you go to their sites, let me pull up the site again. Okay, so then we look at this sync thing. All your devices, all your notes, and all a simple, secure way to synchronize across. So for $4 a month, you can sync across all devices. End-to-end encryption, version history, that's kind of nice too. Work offline, sync later. Can you share though? Collaborate with your team. Invite your team to a shared Obsidian Vault. Notes are updated. Okay, so it's not by default. It's on your device by default, but you can pay. And like $4 a month is not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's
like if you're
really, I think, reasonable
per user per month though, that gets pricey. Seat-based pricing, dang.
Good old
also some good old seat-based pricing. Okay, so I agree with you. I think that as like indie person that needs a note-taking tool and you don't have a team, and you're like on one device for most of your stuff, I feel like this could be pricing free for personal use, no account setup.
Yeah, like I think this works for like I think as a student this would work for sure.
Okay, so let's pull up our tier list. All right, so for developer, for like average developer, indie developer, let's say that this list is really for like individual developer for their day-to-day. I think this is maybe PNPM, but for the opposite reason. Like PNPM, I feel like needs to be at scale, and I feel like this is really useful, but like you need to not be trying to use it for like anything beyond yourself. But you're right, this is a perfect student tool.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think so. Put it like right in front of PNPM, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think I agree with that. It's like it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I think that's. I would almost like. Well, let's see how it goes. I'm leaning towards A tier just because of how many things there are like you could do with it.
I agree.
But for an indie developer, yeah, I think I'd put it there.
All right, so let's leave it there, and then we may A tier, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next on our list, Mr. Notion? Next on our list is okay. Next on our list is one that we've looked at before, and we'll look at it again. It's Copilot. I don't think we necessarily need to go in and use this. We can, but we've done it before.
Yeah. Honestly, I use it every day, so there's that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like anytime if I jump into GitHub and it's not set up now, like it's not running, when I jump into VS Code, if it's not running, I notice now. And it's kind of like prettier, right? Like when you save something and it doesn't auto format, you're like, I need to spend some time to fix this. So yeah, I think we can probably tier this one pretty quick.
Yeah,
I think this is S to me of the ones we've looked at so far.
Yeah, I would put it in S. I think like the amount of use case and productivity it provides, it possibly lives there.
Yeah, I think so too. Even if the code quality is not always great, I think like as an actual dev tool, I feel like it's top tier.
Yeah, like it also I think does a good job of like kind of giving you multiple stuff, but does it change the fact that this is paid? Does that change the fact? Does it move it up or down?
That's true.
Because Obsidian was free until you have to add people, right? So it has like free use case. This does not have a free use case.
Hold on, hold the phone. Are we sure? Have they not enabled this free for everybody now? Do they not have a free tier?
Let's check.
Let's check and see. Let me get this up on my. Okay, so we go. Is GitHub Copilot free? Student, teacher, or maintainer of a popular open source, you can try GitHub. If you're not a student teacher, okay. Free forever. Billing. Free for maintainers. Oh, here we go.
Individual plan says $10 per calendar month.
That's not bad. I would pay $10. Like that's $120 a year. You pay more for that. For
yearly is only $100.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a pretty reasonable deal for what it will get for you. Like if you're gonna pay money for a dev tool of all the ones we've looked at so far, like of all of these ones, I think that's a. If you don't have very much money and you're building something, put $100 towards Copilot. I think, anyways.
Also, I think like the fact that it integrates so well with VS Code. Like if you're using VS Code, I think it has other integrations like that are pretty good as well. So I would say it's worth the buck.
Yeah, I think so. All right, and you get a month free, so you can try it out. And if you don't like it, then you can just like sign it for another month free with a brand new email account. All right, so there we go. So that's top tier for us right now. Next up, we've got. I guess you've already got them up on the screen here, but who is it by? Okay, so next one was by, so this last one was by Graham, and Graham is the co-founder of Growth Book. So far, our Growth Book recommendation for DevTools is definitely winning. Interestingly enough, when this stuff was presented during the stream, I was like, but it's Copilot. Like, isn't everybody using Copilot? And I guess maybe that's why it's such a useful dev tool, because everybody's using it.
Yeah.
So next up, from Zoltan at ConfigCat, we have LangChain. LangChain. What the heck is a LangChain? Let me pull up my handy dandy Chrome and go LangChain. I know it's got something to do with LLMs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's pull this up. Applications that can reason, powered by LangChain. All right. Build, observe, deploy. Build your app. Flexible framework that leverages your company's data and APIs. Pricing, is it free? Free for one user. Done. Let's sign up. I feel like this is one we're going to need to try.
Yeah, especially because we neither of us have experience with it.
Absolutely. I mean, speak for yourself.
Awesome.
All right. No, you are so right. Okay. Here we are. So where do you think we should start? Probably should have started in the docs, but we're not going to do that. Log runs from your LLM applications, data sets and experiments, annotations, prompts, new project, add description, DevTools and DevCools. Folks that are watching the stream right now, never a good idea to not know what tool you're using or what it does and to just start a project, but here we are. New data set. Upload CSV.
Do we have a data set?
We have no data set. We have nothing. So I feel like this is... All right, let's go to the docs. Probably just started there. A framework for developing applications powered by large language models. Love it. Okay. Observability. Okay. Tutorials. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. Build a simple LLM application. Jupyter Notebook. Assumes the reader as well. Jupyter Notebook is perfect for learning. Pip install. I feel like, yeah, this is great if you're building an LLM, but like, also you would need to have access to OpenAPI, which costs money. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm too out of this world right now. I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Playground? Can I play with this in a playground? I feel like that was a nice thing about Cloudflare Workers is they gave you a playground. LangChain playground.
It's just something there. Every LangServe service comes with a
built-in. But I want to do it without having to install it. Smith LangChain prompt playground. Langsmith, welcome. Create a handle. Polly the parrot. All right. 2.
I think that's their parrot.
22. 222. 220. There we go. 2,222. You're an expert programmer and problem solving. Generate comprehensive. Okay. Or there's no. Start. Oh, I see. You need the key. I don't know, man. I feel like if you need to pay money to be, I don't know if I have enough context to really be able to rate this as a dev tool.
I don't either, to be honest. I haven't used any like LM like stuff, or at least like in the sense of like creating something or like kind of working with it.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at things that we can say. Pricing. Love that it's indie developers get like it's free. I love no credit card to get started. that's definitely A tier for me. I feel like 5,000 traces. I have no idea what a trace is. But I have a feeling that is a good amount. Resources, they've got templates. I'm not sure what these templates actually do, but they've got them. They've got
one thing I'd say is in their pricing model, the Plus has 10,000 traces. So I think 5,000 is a good amount.
Yeah, I think so too. So like, I feel like that's well, okay, what's an alternative to LangChain? Maybe that's LangChain alternative to, let's see what else we got here. Flowwise, open source creation. Let's go look at this one and see. Low code LLM builder. So I have somebody that I know. Hold the phone. I have a person that I know that created something like this. What's it called though? Bryce was his name. Conju AI. I think they've changed their market though. Oh yeah, they definitely have. They're a chatbot now. But these guys originally started off as something like this like low code bot creation platform.
Okay.
How about this one? Is this one? Oh, is this completely self-hosted and open source? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, this is like, okay.
But I think like what you would need is like kind of the open API key and then doing all that stuff.
So I like that this is something that you install on your own device to do though. Like no pricing to do it. You're still going to need the OpenAI key, API key. OpenAI API key, but I do like that. What else do we got? What other options are here? Flowwise.
I'll go one. Yeah.
One back. Oh no, this one. We want to go. Wait.
First.
Oh, there. First one. There we go. 10 LangChain alternatives. Vellum AI, and then maybe we'll look at like one more. Llama Index. Okay, Vellum pricing. No free option demo, so it's definitely better than that. I hate when there's no option to try it. Try before you buy. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, this is an open source project. They've got a community and a cloud option.
And then the enterprise version as well.
Yeah. A lot of heavy players that are using them too, though. Replit, Red Hat. Interesting. Okay, and then maybe one more. Flowwise we already looked at. Galileo. Meet Galileo products. Gen AI. Yeah, I just don't feel like I have enough. I mean, I can't really say with this one. I feel like it's good, but I have no real context for how good it is. I feel like maybe a B tier. Like, what's your thought, Parth, on this one?
I just think that it's a little too niche for like a everyday developer or like a.
Agreed.
If you're looking at it from that perspective, it's a little too niche for it to have a rating. So I would possibly put it in like a low B or a C tier.
I think this might be our first C. I think that's very true. I feel like very context specific, average developer, even just getting into LLMs, like that was a lot. That was a lot. Like there was no onboarding, you know, like even us, like right with feature flags, like we didn't do this before, but we're doing it much better now. Like our onboarding process, if you've never touched a feature flag before, like, and you start using DevCycle, it's very clean. So yeah, I feel like C tier. And this is not that it's a bad recommendation, ConfigCat or anybody. I just think we don't have enough context to be able to put it any higher than C. And in the context of this sort of like indie, like solo developer, like, yeah, if they're interested in LLMs, maybe, but otherwise hard to say.
Yeah.
But definitely not F tier. All right, next up on our list is my recommendation, which is definitely going to end up somewhere, is Linear. All right, let me pull this up. There we go. All right, so Linear, I'm not going to pull open our linear because that would end very poorly as I like docs all the stuff that we're working on. Yeah, so linear free plan to start. So like you don't need to have an account to go and do this. It's super limited, but like if you were an individual developer, this is fine. Like you're probably...
It gives you unlimited members, 2 teams. So I think that's like pretty reasonable, like 250 issues. That's not too bad.
Yeah, with the unlimited archive, like the fact that you can have like as many as you want archived, like you can just archive things when you're done with them. I think that like, I think linear, the pricing plan is good. Like it's pretty similar to Asana, maybe not as good as Asana, because like that's really the alternative here is Asana. Have they removed like the actual pricing option from their
there was a thing at the back. If you go back one, you can see the pricing. You can go straight to pricing page.
Oh, there we go. 0, collaborate with up to 10 teammates, unlimited tasks, iOS and Android mobile apps. Yeah, this might be better. Like Asana might be better for an indie.
I haven't used Asana, but I know you have dabbled in it a little bit. So I would ask you, like, in terms of the UI and just the way it works, where would you place them?
So the one thing that I always hated about Asana is that it's great when you're dealing with like one person, one project, do they have like a preview of what it actually looks like? I don't want to like dive into the actual platform. Yeah,
maybe
hold on.
Solutions or
Asana. I'll just like Asana preview. Excuse me. Maybe this one. Yeah, like this is kind of the view that you're getting in Asana that you're going to kind of see. Hold on, copy image address. So like, this is kind of an idea of what Asana looks like. Yeah. Asana reminds me a lot of Notion in a really big way, but like less open. Like Notion is super open-ended. So Notion, the benefit and the blessing and the curse to Notion is that you can use it for anything, right? And you can adapt it to whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And then Asana is kind of like that, but a little bit more locked down. So it's like more opinionated than Notion and more specifically focused on like task management versus note taking.
Yeah.
I would say linear is super, super opinionated on software development. So like as a developer that's going in to do this, I think even just the fact that some of the default language that they're using is things that as a developer, an early stage developer, you might not realize that like a triage is a thing, right?
Yeah.
And now you're going to start to see this language over and over again. Milestones. I think this is good for getting into good habits. That's what I think linear does is like a dev tool. I think you could use a sheet of paper if you're an indie developer. I think this is useful. I think that it's necessarily like S tier for indie. I don't know. I would kind of put this maybe B tier as well. Like, I feel like this is really good if you're getting into a larger project, but like, yeah. What are you've been using linear for a bit. Like, what are your thoughts, Parth?
I would say I really like the idea of like kind of, you can use it like a pen and paper, but being able to like connect issues and like even like write down your notes or like kind of thoughts about the issues. Like, I would say one thing, I've only used 2 major issue tracking platforms.
Jira. I forgot about Jira.
So because of that, I think like linear makes it a lot, like it's a lot lightweight in a way. Like it makes it easier to use, like and it just kind of stuff that makes sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. But I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
I would say if I were to pick, like, let's say I'm doing a personal project and I have a choice of using linear, I would definitely use linear just because like it's just easier to use. Things are easy to get started. Like even if you need to just like kind of put down your thoughts, link stuff together, like write down your like create issues, create tickets, and then just like kind of get started working on it. For one person, it is a little like it's a little too much for sure. You can do all that in like just a document file and just be like, hey, this issue, like this kind of these two are related or whatever. Like this has to happen before these are sub issues and like stuff like that. You can make an argument for that, like if you're the only person using it. But organization wise, it does make sense to use something like linear.
Yeah. If you're an indie developer though, like have you looked at GitHub like GitHub issues and GitHub projects recently? Like they've definitely really like this is not the GitHub issues of your grandfather's day. Like this feels very linear-esque, and this is all within GitHub. So like I feel like there's something here for an indie developer, but like if you're looking to graduate from this, I think linear is the only place to go. It's like, yeah, you're right. You can do this on your own, but like if you're going to go beyond, linear is the task. All right, so so where does it land for you, Parth? Is it a B or is it an A?
I would put it in an A, just because of like the stuff you can do with it. Yeah. It would go behind workers for me though, just because like in terms of like alternatives where it stands.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. Okay, so we're about halfway through the stream. I think we can get through the rest of these. What's up next for us though is one that is, I think, gonna land in a very similar place to LangChain, maybe not. It is a chaos engineering application. And so I had never heard of chaos engineering before. Have you heard of chaos engineering, Parth? Do you know what it is?
I have not heard of it. No.
So I heard of chaos engineering through Netflix. So like what? Hold on. I want to go like, what is chaos engineering? Before we actually get into this, let me share my screen again.
I'm gonna ask Gemini to explain.
Ask Gemini, and then we'll see who can. An approach to software development testing is designed to achieve resilience against unexpected failures. Okay, so this is like basically trying to DDoS yourself every time you release a new feature, or like trying to like break. I think is the idea here. Is like,
yes, I see. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, give the Gemini. Give us the Gemini. The Gemini answer.
Gemini says, imagine you're a firefighter. You don't want for a fire to break out before you practice using the hose. Chaos engineering is similar. It is a proactive approach to building strong, resilient computer systems. Here's the gist. Intentionally introduce failures. Chaos engineers create controlled malfunctions in a system, like spiking CPU usage or simulating a server outage. Think of it like a fire drill. Identify weaknesses by stressing the system. They see how it reacts and pinpoint area that might cause problems in future. Build resilience. Once weak spots are identified, the engineers can fix them and make the system more resilient to real-world disruptions. Overall, chaos engineering is about anticipating problems before they happen, preventing outages, and ensuring a smooth user experience. Is like giving your system a stress test to make it stronger.
Okay, all right. I get it. It's like testing. It's like testing leveled up. I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, Litmus Chaos. This is the tool that was recommended. Is an open source chaos engineering platform. Part of CNCF. Lots of big players using it. Ooh, I like this idea. Ooh, we should be doing this. This is that's a smart idea. Just bring you over to your. Do people actually do this? Holy crud, that's kind of crazy, actually. I really like that idea. Like, just add a button for people to add their companies onto here. Yeah, yes, please. If you're watching this marketing team, this is a smart idea. Okay, so inject chaos, Litmus workflows, inject chaos agent, install chaos center, run predefined Litmus. I feel like we're gonna run into the same issue that we just ran into, aren't we? Like we're gonna run into the same thing as LangChain. But immediately I will say it's open source, which LangChain maybe was, but wasn't as obvious that it was there. Resources, learn. Nice. Follow Litmus blog. That's not actually learning. Chaos Hub, information. Okay, I like this. One stop for your chaos engineering experiments. pod delete. Oh, that's kind of cool. Like here are all of the possible chaotic situations that you could actually want to run.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's interesting.
Hmm.
I think it allows. I would say one thing, like in the sense of like software development, I would probably say that this is it's not as niche like chaos engineering.
That's true.
It makes sense about things you would want to do, is like kind of find things that'll break and like kind of go in and
Yeah.
fix those. So it's like
I would agree there. And you could technically, I mean, this is very Kubernetes focused, which most indie developers aren't going to be doing. But like the idea here of like thinking about chaos engineering. Yeah. All right. So where does this then land? Again, not actually using this. We can't use everything, folks that are on stream. Like it's just not possible. We're not that good. I feel like is this still C tier, but above LangChain, or is it B tier?
That's a good question. I think I would put it I'm debating between these two, just because like I think I'll leave it at C for now, just because it has like its use cases, but is not for everybody. Like I think the one thing we've been kind of coming back to is like for a individual developer, like a regular kind of developer, where does this go? And for that reason, I'll put it there.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Okay, so that seems good. All right, next up, this one I feel like a lot of people have heard of. If you haven't, I feel like this is probably going to land fairly high on our tier list. Maybe not. I shouldn't say this out loud. Next up is Prettier. So Prettier came from, so Linear came from me. Litmus came from Matt, who is the DevRel guy over at Harness.
Yes.
This next one comes from Alvin, who's DevRel at Unleash. And so, yeah, this one was Prettier. And yeah, I mean, I feel like
You're sharing the whole screen, by the way.
Oh no, I'm sharing. You can see how the sausage is made. Oh no! Oh no! No! Okay. Haha. Now you can just see my screen. Hold on. Hold the phone. I can literally pull it down. All right. What's going on? Prettier. There we go. Now it's up, and now I can pull this back up. Okay. What is Prettier? It's a code formatter. That's it. That's all. It's so when you click save in VS Code, your code immediately lints. And can you try it online? Oh, frig, I love Playgrounds so much.
Oh, I like the left-hand side where it just like kind of gives you all the stuff that you would want to change. The settings.
What do you? Oh, I see. Oh, yes, that's very cool. I can't see it. It was like hidden behind there. Interesting. Parser. Okay, and then does it run automatically? Is it linting here? Like
yeah, whatever you write, it'll get linted on the right.
But is it actually it actually linted here?
No, it'll lint on the right. It's showing you the output on the right.
No, but this is what I mean. Oh no, I guess it has linted here. Yeah. It's actually putting these on new lines, which totally makes sense.
Adding tabs.
The tabs seem less obvious. Oh.
Why don't you?
No, it is. You're right. You're right.
The semicolons and then see if it changes or not. So on the left-hand side, you should have a setting to remove semicolons.
All right, where is that? Common. Hold on, I need to look here. No semi.
No semi. There you go. And there you go. Semicolons are gone.
All right, and then what else do we want to do in here? HTML.
Change
JSX thing, quote.
Yes,
Where's the tabs thing? Where's that?
It was. It'll be the common thing, right?
Oh yeah. Tab width. Okay, let's do tab width. Okay, there we go. No, that's bad. Okay, that's more obvious. I love that this is like that you can see all the options there. And I think normally you actually do all of this Prettier stuff like in a YAML file or something like that in whatever your code editor is. I don't know how people can operate without these kind of things, like these code formatters. And like Prettier is kind of like the default kind of one here. Like when I think of this, I think about installing Prettier and just using that. I don't know about you.
Definitely. I think if I'm ever like looking at code, I think what changes things is like you look at code and like everybody has like different kind of settings on like what do they like, this or that, like kind of spaces or tabs, and it's just like I think when you're coding is like you should not be worried about like using spaces or tabs. Like that's not what you should be worried about. Let Prettier take care of it. Just write code, press save, it'll do everything for you. Don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
It's all about like human readability, right? Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's the thing that you get with Prettier is just like you can look through, you can now parse through what's on the right here, and you like get it. It makes sense. You understand why it's there. Okay, so I know where I think this lands for me. Where does this land for you, Parth? Where does Prettier land?
It goes at the top.
Yeah,
I think it goes above Copilot just because it's free.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Next up, we've got Mise en Place. So Mise en Place was one of two that came through the co-founder of Flagsmith. He also recommended like the copy paste history thing, which is like built into most browsers now. I don't count that one as a dev tool. He did. I don't. I call shenanigans. All right, but Mise en Place. Mise en Place was DevTools. Yes. So it was this. So it's like NVM. And I never used NVM, but it is truly a game changer. I gotta say, like, and if you've never used NVM before, use it. It's a way to change the node version that you're using for specific projects, because some require an older version or a newer version. And instead of you sort of like installing it in different places and needing to kind of update things, you can use NVM to change it. This Mise en Place is basically doing that for like any programming language.
That's
which is
cool.
very cool.
That is very cool.
Minus inspired by use.
Let's see. Wait, you want to share your screen if you're looking at the documentation or something?
Oh, I am. I absolutely was. Sorry, I was over here. Mise en Place. Yeah, getting started. So like seems really easy. Just do a curl command to install it. And then you're in there, you add it to your bin. Yeah, awesome. Activate it, add it into that bash RC. Use it. Like, yeah. Like, and it's super simple too. Like, this is a pretty straightforward, like, yeah. I mean, this seems like something that as a developer, even without installing it, I can tell that I would probably use on a regular basis when I needed to have different versions of things. What about you?
I think, yeah, if you're working with like a lot of things, then, or like a lot of different technologies, then this definitely makes it useful, because you just don't need to worry about a lot of stuff, right? Like if it can do multiple languages, if it can do multiple like environments all in one, then you don't need to worry about it. And I'm assuming that you just have like one file that contains all the stuff you need, and then kind of throw it in there and you're done.
It looks like it. Yeah, so it's like running a demo on here. Like this is a nice little actual console demo of like actually showing the whole process working. I feel like there's, I wish you could pause it. Can you pause it? Maybe you can. Oh no, it's literally just a GIF. But still, like, this seems pretty easy.
Installed and then ready to go. All right, LTS. Makes sense. It installed Node. All right. Oh, so just do use and then whatever. That's nice. Like, yeah, very similar to NVM in that sense. Yeah. But yeah, as you said, if it does other stuff, then that's great. Because then it's one tool that you have to work with, rather than multiple. Yeah,
I like that. Okay. All right, let's go back to our tier list. All right, where do we think this one lands on our tier list, Parth?
I would put it very much in the A category. Just because like there's things you could do with it. Like I see the use cases already.
Yeah, same. I think that's a great place for it. And I feel like it's not going to be relevant for if you're just doing like a basic like project on any language and you're not needing to run it on different environments, it's going to be less. But yeah, I think this is very true. All right. Next up, we have recommended from...
Actually, before we move off, I'll just say one thing. Let's say if you're a developer that only uses like one language or like one environment or one kind of framework, then it makes sense. Like if you're using Python, then use PyEnv. Like if you're using or VNV as well. If you're using like Node, then you're going to use NVM kind of just to that kind of keep things as they are. So that's one kind of thing. Two thing is like, do you really need something like this if you're only using one platform? Maybe not, but if you're using multiple, this is definitely up there.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Amazing. All right. So next up, we have from Mark at Flipped, NeoVim. So this was wrong one. Let me go here. There. Oh, where is it? Mise en place. All right. So NeoVim is Vim, but Neo. What is NeoVim? Do you use Vim?
I do not use Vim.
Nobody uses Vim. Not even Vim people use Vim. Ooh, I like this.
I've heard about a lot of people using NeoVim for a lot of reasons. I don't know exactly what, but I've heard of a lot of people using NeoVim as like their like everyday instead of using something like VS Code.
Yeah. I feel like if you are a person who just like loves never having to leave your keyboard, like you hate using your mouse, I feel like NeoVim is like the thing for you. I get it. I actually do really get NeoVim and I get these things. And it seems as though it's a very powerful, IDE. So like, yeah, I'm not that person. I like my mouse. I enjoy moving around with my hand and not my keyboard, but I feel like you also get there's no way it can be less efficient than like, sorry, what am I trying to say? I feel like with VS Code you get all of these things that make it look really pretty and it does the job, but like it's got all of these extra pieces to it, whereas I feel like NeoVim is like, yeah, less source code, is focused on just like getting the job out there. Anyways, I think that we don't need to go very far to say like this is going to fit definitely in for developers. It's just going to be your choice of which IDE you want to use.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more about like what do you want to use and what your workflow looks like. Essentially, like if you're working on mostly if you're working on VS Code, then you have like kind of the setup as like the normal setup, right? Like you're going from one place to another. Like you like to use your mouse, I guess, a little bit more. But if you're only using like keyboard shortcuts, then yeah, you're more likely to go to NeoVim.
All right, let's see. I need to open.
You're also sharing your full screen. Just
I know. Oh. I feel like I have to open this. Yeah, of course I do. Can't open NeoVim because it thinks it's malware. Of course it does, because it's not actually like a desktop application. I'm meant to open it from my terminal. I don't want to go that far. Hold on. Hold the phone. I want to know if they've idiot-proofed this. Have they Andrew idiot-proofed this so that they actually explain how to use NeoVim? Where are we going? Install. Okay. Add Mac OS X from the releases, pre-compiled, brew install NeoVim, but then how do I start NeoVim?
I think you just do command space and then NeoVim.
All right, let's go. Let's just do it. I'm going to install it through Homebrew. Where did it go? Homebrew. There we go. Brew install NeoVim. Let's open my terminal. Bring my terminal over here. Oh, I can't pull my terminal over here.
Andrew,
I feel like nope.
Like you're a very big user of the light mode. Everything's in light mode.
Everything's in light mode, man. I don't know why. I use dark mode for doing all of my personal stuff in code, but like anything else, like yes, I'm definitely a light mode stan.
I put everything in like dark mode as soon as I can.
All right, we're gonna switch this up.
Ooh,
Better?
there you go.
There we go. That's it.
Now we're
All right.
cooking.
So now we want to run NeoVim. Let's just try NeoVim. No.
And Vim? It won't be / because it's not in that directory.
Ooh, there it is.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Open source. Enter. Yeah, this is not for me.
I've heard of people talk about like if you want like people that actually use stuff like this, like NeoVim and even Vim, there are people who are very good with the keyboard shortcuts and they like their stuff in a specific way.
Absolutely.
And I think that you have to train yourself to do that. So there's definitely that for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is very unopinionated, if that makes sense. Like this is a dev tool that like you customize for yourself.
Yep.
Like this is very much a tool that you make work for you. And out of the box, it just is like a text editor that I probably can't escape from actually. Control-C.
No, you have to do escape and then :QA. Yeah.
There we go.
There you
All right.
go.
What is Nano installed? This is my go-to. I love Nano. And I know it's stupid because it's exactly the same thing, but like I got exposed to Nano as like my first like terminal-based text editor. And I'm just like, you know what I love about it is that it knows you're dumb when you're using it. And it's like, I'm going to give you all the commands that you need to use at the very bottom of your window. So if Andrew needs help, you can just go, oh, look at all the things. Anyways.
Yeah, I've used like Vi and Nano for like different use cases, but Vi is very similar to NeoVim. But
it's Vim. Yeah, this is like
Vim,
so Vim like NeoVim's like older cousin, I guess.
Older cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, so let's go back to our tier list. Where do we think NeoVim fits on there?
I think I would put it in the B tier just because like similar to PNPM is like you need to kind of get into it to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
And it's not something you can pick up and use. Like
agreed.
For a regular or someone like individual developer, you could use it like all the time and you could be amazing with it. Or you could like never use it and still like kind of get like, work done.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. I think that's definitely where that lands for me too. All right. So we're almost through, folks. We're almost through. Next up on our list coming from Open Feature, Pete at Open Feature, who's like the OG Open Featurer, was let me pull it up. Was Miro. What board am I opening up in Miro? Oh, look at that. I'm actually opening up an awesome road mapping board in Miro from the Open Feature team. And if you've never used Miro before, where have you been? It's just an open whiteboarding tool. Yeah, you can basically just like create new whiteboards. Yeah, and so like I actually know a person who is a CTO co-founder, and for his company, they actually don't use any project management tools aside from Miro. So they do everything in Miro. They do task management, they do road mapping, they do everything, including like tickets, individual tickets for engineering. They manage in Miro.
I mean, I would say one thing, like it's like using linear for everything, right? Like it's doable. You could use things for like stuff all around.
There's like things for stuff all around. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. No, you're right. I get 100% what you mean. 100% what you mean. Yeah. I kind of look at Miro as like very similar to Obsidian in like what you can get, but Obsidian's note based more, and this is board based, obviously. I very much get this. I get this as like a useful dev tool of like, if I was going to build out a like a wireframe of something, like it literally has a like phone frame for you to do this in, or like a browser frame. Like you get the device that you can actually see it in there. So like, oh, I want to see what my app looks like on a phone. Like you can do everything from like the design process all the way through to like the planning process and all the rest of it in here. Like I very, very much get this as being a very useful tool.
But now I have a question. What if
Okay.
Obsidian has a plugin that does the same thing? We just don't know about it.
That's true. Very true. And it probably does. And I think it's free. And I have a feeling that Miro is free too, but probably limits you. Hold on. Let me log out. Log out. Miro. That's wild. .index. Come on. No. Okay, good. Okay. Pricing. So 0, you get a single workspace with 3 boards. Share smart. Yeah. So it's kind of like with Obsidian, you're getting everything on your device and it's yours, and you can do whatever you want with it on your own device. And really the only thing you're paying for is to get the team access. Like, so Miro is like, you're paying for the ability to share you automatically have the ability to share, and you're more paying for the ability to have more content. So yeah, for an indie developer, I don't know. I do feel like this might actually, this could land below Obsidian actually.
Does it have anything for... It doesn't tell you... Oh, actually, could you go back?
Go back? Yeah.
Yes. I just want to see unlimited team members. That's what I wanted to see. How many team members you're allowed.
Yes, that's the other thing. But it's still per member per month, right? So
yeah, per member per month. I thought it was going to be a usage based pricing, but it's not.
Oh yeah, I don't think do you not get sharing? Oh no. Oh yeah. Sorry, you were just saying this on the team members.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, but I mean that's Miro. I get it. I've seen this work, but where do we think this lands? This is very much an Obsidian alternative, really, for planning for you or for note taking. Where do you think this lands?
I wouldn't say Obsidian alternative. I think they're both in like 2 different places.
Okay.
But whatever I could do on Obsidian, whatever I can do in Miro, I could possibly do on Obsidian.
I think
but
so.
Not the other way around.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that. Say that. All right. So where do we think this lands? Indie developer. Where do we think this lands on?
For mind mapping, I would put it like very close, like right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put it there too.
Just because like you're allowed, you can do so much thing. You just throw ideas. Although you could do the same thing with Obsidian. There's that. No,
I would totally agree. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm happy with that there. All right, we got 4 more people. 4 more. We got like 20 more minutes. We're gonna get through these. All right, so let's go. Our next one up our next 2 actually, which I think I know where they're gonna land. Coming from the co-founder of Feetbit, Bo, is Visual Studio Code first. So this is the thing is I don't know if he was actually saying Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, but he's a .NET developer, so I feel like it might have been Visual Studio.
Yeah, I think then it's a Visual Studio thing. Visual Studio ID with .NET. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes. So this is like for anybody that's out there, you may have in the past gone and searched actually for Visual Studio. They are actually 2 different things, but this is So he was talking Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code. Yeah. So the difference here is that Visual Studio is an IDE specifically for .NET and C++ developers, whereas Visual Studio Code is technically not an IDE, it's a code editor.
Yeah. Another thing, Visual Studio is only for Windows, while Visual Studio Code you can use on all 3 OS platforms.
But I feel like they look very, very similar.
Yeah.
Don't they? Like I think
they look similar for sure.
But yeah, you're really only getting like this is very focused on
Mhm.
a niche environment.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
this
could
is
use it for like there are use cases for JavaScript and Python underneath.
rich support for JavaScript development, building JavaScript, Python, Node.js, .NET. I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't
okay,
use it for that though.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't either.
I think if I were to use something else other than Visual Studio, if I were to use an IDE, it would go with the WebStorm suite.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, we can't even actually test this out because we don't have a Windows device, and I'm not spinning up a virtual machine to install this. I just don't necessarily think there's a huge value proposition for you, our viewers out in the world today. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is maybe C tier. I don't know. Like, I feel like this falls with chaos engineering and LLMs. Like, it's so niche.
I think, yeah, it is very niche, but do you put it with NeoVim or no? Is my only question.
So
Like-
NeoVim you could use as any kind of developer at any stage, whereas I feel like I feel like developers could make the mistake of installing via Visual Studio and
I've done
thinking
that.
that it was for everything, and then they're doing like Go development and they're like, this is not what I needed. So I think that it actually does land there. I don't know if it's behind litmus testing. I feel like you're more likely to run across a situation where you're going to have to do .NET or C++ stuff than you're going to have to do chaos engineering. But like
that.
Yeah. I think that's probably the order.
That's fair.
And then next up here is going to be one that we all know, we all love or hate, is just like the classic github.com. It's there. There's other options. There's GitLab.
There's Bitbucket, GitLab.
Bitbucket as well. Bitbucket.
There's a Git.
Gitty, I'm a big Gitty fan. I think it's just fun. Like,
Yeah.
and you can self-host this. It's basically just like a little container. They've also like really like leveled up because they've now got their own cloud offering too. But like, it's GitHub. It's like classic GitHub without all the bells and whistles. It like lets you track things in Git and you can own all of it and you don't have to use it as a separate service.
I have a question. If you were to host your own, if you were to self-host, would you use Gitty or would you use GitLab?
No, I would use Gitty 100%. It's so light
I would use
comparatively. Really? Why?
Just because of they both have like self-hosted versions, and GitLab allows you to integrate into other things a lot like better because they have like the whole like pipelines and everything you can set up on your self-hosted version. So it's like that's where I would go with that. I would lean towards GitLab a little bit.
Didn't GitLab drop their self-hosting?
Did they?
I think so. Hold on. I think so. GitLab self-hosted. I feel like they dropped support. Maybe not. Maybe I'm very wrong.
It's still there. The CE or EE version. Yeah.
Okay, I was very wrong. I don't know where I felt. Maybe it was just like they were dropping more support for it. Yeah, they definitely still have this here. Okay, so yes. So if I was an indie developer though, and I was just getting started and I didn't need all the integrations, but then you're probably going to need them eventually. Yeah. All right.
It's less about like integrations is more about like if you essentially want pipelines available at some point, right? Like you want all these things running for you. So it's like makes it a lot easier for that.
That's true. Instead of having to switch, right? You're gonna have to switch all your repos from Gitty over to GitLab when you eventually scale.
Imagine having Gitty and then running something like Jenkins on the side to do your kind of all that other work, and it's just
that's right.
I don't think it would make a lot more sense.
That's fair. All right, GitLab it is.
But the question here is not about GitHub or Gitty or GitLab. It's about GitHub.
It's about GitHub. I feel like you cannot, like, GitHub has everything, man. Like you've got like obviously the important stuff, your Git, your version management, version control, but you've got code spaces, you've got Copilot, you've got projects, you've got wikis, you've got like actions, you've got everything. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Parth. Where are you at with this one? Where does it land on our tier list?
I think just to add on to whatever,
All right.
sorry, just to add on to everything that you said. One other thing is like you could use GitHub as a CDN. You could just throw like assets on there and then just call those right away. Like, you don't even need to put it on like pages or anything. You just say like just put the GitHub link and then it works. And it's like I heard someone talking about this the other day. Actually, I was watching a video and this person was like, "Yeah, you can use GitHub as a CDN," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's crazy."
Yeah, I use it as an API.
Yeah,
I have a project that I need to feed in data from a like into a separate system. So I just have like all of these JSON files that have like a set data structure, and I'm literally just like calling. I like call this repo, and then I'm like looking for the specific files in specific places. So
another thing, if you want a little insight on GitHub and there's a little hack if you want to use LFS, so large file storage.
Okay.
On regular repos, there's a limit of how much storage you can have in your repo, right? You can only allow so many things. But if you were to go to Chromium and fork it, you can essentially put any it unblocks all of the things and you can use whatever you want.
Hacks on here. You can hack it. You can use it. I think this is landing A tier. No, not A tier. S tier. This is S tier.
Yeah, I would put it right there in the middle. I think prettier over GitHub, just because you need code before you can put it on GitHub.
Before you can control the code, you need to have the code, and you need the code to be pretty.
Exactly. If you put any code on GitHub, it will look not nice. You don't want that.
That's very true.
Pretty code there.
All right. So we got two left. For today's stream. Our last two are first one's gonna be so many tabs open. Minikube. So Minikube. This is another one I feel like is gonna land in the niche area. So this is for local Kubernetes. Oh, we went down this road before. Did we use Minikube?
Not with
when we did our Kubernetes. No, because we spun up Kubernetes, and maybe we didn't do it. I spun up Kubernetes in one of my episodes. Architecture, latest install, ARM stable, homebrew, start your cluster, interact with your cluster. I still don't understand Kubernetes, and I've been in the Kubernetes space for a while. I kind of get what it's there for, but it's not really valuable for me. I mean, this seems great. That said, it is hard to spin up a Kubernetes cluster. Like it takes some time and some knowledge, and this seems fairly straightforward. Start your cluster, interact with your
individual developer.
Indie developers sorry, go ahead.
I would just say, I think Minikube makes it easier for you to do everything on your computer rather than kind of finding a place to host your cluster or set up your cluster and do everything kind of on a different place. So it's in that sense, I would say this is great.
Parth, have you ever needed to spin up a Kubernetes cluster?
I personally have not had to spin up a Kubernetes cluster yet.
Parth, I feel like you being a successful professional engineer, having not had to pull this up.
I think that has to do with the type of stuff I've been working on.
Yeah, that's
fair. There's that. We use Kubernetes for our stuff, right? It's you just have Mr. Jamie and Jonathan taking care of everything, so it's a lot easier for us.
Yeah, I feel like this is another niche one. I do feel like this one,
but I would say if you are a individual developer, then you are more likely to do all of the stuff on your own, right? You're going to develop, you're going to deploy and kind of do all of that on your own instead of kind of having somebody do it for you. So I think those are the two different things to keep in mind.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so where does this land on our tier list? I think C tier. I think just we basically, our C tier is just niche tools that are useful, but that's kind of what this has become.
I would put it in B tier. I think B tier is like somewhat useful niche tools because I don't think it's as niche as the 3 bottom ones. I think this is closer to something like mind mapping would be kind of at the start of the project. Deploying would be at the end of the project. So like I would put it like there, maybe.
Really? I don't know. I would put it bottom B.
Bottom
like,
B.
Bottom B, top C. It's just like Kubernetes is so like, is this just part of life now as a software developer that you need to do things in Kubernetes? I guess it is, hey?
I think like if you're looking to deploy stuff, then you need to kind of find a way to deploy it. And Kubernetes is like the one kind of answer to a lot of these things. So it's like you want to do it in that way. And that's the reason I would put it there. Like if you're just deploying without the need for any like clustering or any like if it's like a very small thing, then this goes into C tier. But if your goal is to make something scalable, you want to put it in B tier.
Okay, I'm gonna let this live there, not because I have any say, but because I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. And I feel like, yeah, you are probably right. It's like less niche. It's more like, it's more DevOpsy, which is more universally. I would agree that Kubernetes is maybe more universal than a specific language or like LLMs or chaos engineering. So I'll give you that. Okay, and our last one on the list. We don't need to pull it up because we used it before. Mr. or Mrs. or they, them, the ChatGPT. And not only, so it's interesting because we did a whole stream on this.
Yeah.
F tier. We did a whole stream on this, where we looked at this. But we did a stream on ChatGPT 4, and now we've got 4.0.
Do you remember where we put ChatGPT 3.5 in our tier list?
Ooh, where did we put ChatGPT in our tier list? Let me go back. I'm gonna go and pull that up. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Actually, we're gonna go back to our AI. Let's go dev cycle.
Oh.
Look at that. We're streaming right now.
Yes, we are.
Videos, playlists. Where are we hiding? DevTools DevCools. This one was our open feature Elixir. This one.
AI powered. Yeah, clean up.
All right. TLDR, final thoughts. Where was our tier list? Looking for it in our preview window here.
It should be before the newsletter. Like
here it is. Here it is. Look at us, chumps. Oh, chumps using this in just the window. So ChatGPT was S tier.
Yes, it was.
For there. So like to be honest with you, like let's pull back our tier list. I think that ChatGPT is below Copilot in this situation, even though it beat out Copilot in
I think okay, sorry, finish your thought and then I'll have
so my thought is it is a useful tool for developers, but less so than like the kind of code completion type stuff that you get with Copilot and things like that. I feel like as you're coding, it's going to give you recommendations. Okay, what's yours? What's your thoughts here, Parth?
I would say that this, like ChatGPT over Copilot, because two things. One, it's free.
True.
So it's like you get more out of it as a individual developer. You can use 3.5 to do a lot of stuff. And two, it's not only code completion. Like you can give it code, it will like give you stuff, but it will also give you ways to start things. Like you can be like, how can I start this? And then you'll be like, oh, this is what you do. Run this command, use this library, do this, do that. And you can see it kind of do everything for you. It'll be like, how do I set up a database? It'll be like, oh, this is how you set up a database. So it's like, it's more useful in that sense rather than just code completion. Code completion is productivity level. I think ChatGPT is more of a, how can you make this overall better for you? Or like, it's like an overall helper instead of just like code completion helper.
I like it. I am here for it. I think that you're right, a little bit higher. I think it still lives there. I think prettier is definitely still our top.
Oh, yeah.
I can agree with all of this. This is a pretty good tier list, actually, of like tools that you would want to use as a new software developer. Like if you were looking. Whoa! It's all right. It's all recorded. Don't worry, Parth. We just reset it. It's gone. Our list has disappeared.
Oh no. Okay, we can go back to our stream and then take a screenshot of it.
Exactly. So now is when the angry chats come out. So do you agree with our list? So just so you know, because you can't see our list right now, in S tier, we had, hold on, we're going to have to go back to our manual.
I'm just going to open up the stream and then.
You can open up the stream and go back to the area. Yeah. All right. And then we'll share the stream. I love this. This is so meta. I love this. So we're going to pull this up and we want to know, do you agree with our tier list of developer tools? And keep in mind that there was a lot of niche tools that were here. And so we're interested in, do you think that as like our general sort of like, you are a developer and here are tools that are going to be useful for you as an average developer? What do you think? And so Parth is pulling this up for us right now.
Have it up if you want.
He's got it up. I'm going to add Parth back onto there. So here is our tier list, our very meta tier list. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Let me do something. Oh no, can I do that?
Can you crop into the?
That's thing? Exactly same wavelength right now. It won't let me crop into it though.
But I can.
Oh, what's up? Okay, here we go. All right,
like, and does that work? It does. Let me see. There you go. It's like it's still there. We still have it.
Boom, we got it. It's like we didn't accidentally delete it. This is the joys of streaming. Okay, so top tier list was Prettier, followed by GitHub, ChatGPT, and then GitHub Copilot. A tier, we had Cloudflare Workers, followed by Linear, and then Mise en Place. B tier, we had Obsidian, Miro, Minikube, PNPM, and NeoVim. C tier, we had Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code, Litmus Chaos, and LangChain. And F tier, we had nothing.
Exactly. Everything was good.
Everything was good. You know why we say that? It's because we don't want anybody coming for us that gave these recommendations on that super stream. That's a lot of people that come and be mad at us for this. Yeah. So what do you think, chat? Or if you're watching this as a VOD, what do you think? Do you think that we were on point with these? I know we always didn't get to look at all of them, but I think we did a good kind of examination of these. This has been very much like a DevTools DevCools, like truest sense of the term.
Perfect.
Like very on point. I think this is there. I'm going to go and update my Prettier right now. That's what I'm going to do when I leave this stream. And also I'm going to go thank Copilot. I'm going to go send a nice little message saying, thank you for being awesome. But if you're on this stream right now watching and you're like, Andrew, Parth, there was not enough of you coding, don't worry, because Parth and I were so pumped to work together that this week, in just 2 days, we're going to be back. We're going to be coding. We're going to be coding the entire time on Does It Toggle. We're going to be Does It Toggling Docusaurus this week. And we're going to be live. Yeah, Friday. We're going to be live for a couple hours doing that. And we're going to hopefully, by the end of that, have an extension built out. If you can't wait until then, don't worry, because I'm going to be live here in an hour with Will from One Signal, and because, as you know, if you've been watching the stream, we've been building out some extensions for the Leaf PHP sort of micro framework, and we actually had the creator of that framework reach out to us and he said, hey guys, I want to be on your stream. So nice. No pressure at all, but we're going to have the creator of Leaf PHP, Michael Darko Duoco, I think is how you pronounce his name, is going to be live on stream in an hour. So like literally be here in an hour and we're going to be on that stream. And if you want to catch this stream, if you want to catch the VOD, because maybe you just tuned in now, where can they find this stream, Parth?
On our YouTube channel, right where I found the
we found the lost list.
Yes.
So yeah, you can find
this right here if you want to show it again.
I'm showing
this right here. DevCycle HQ.
Find it. You know, we're gonna put it in chat for you because you may not be able. We want to make this easy for you. YouTube.com/@DevCycleHQ. We're gonna put it up on the screen. Go check this out. If you want to watch all of Parth and my videos, and we need you to watch it so that Parth can become even more famous within the dev cycle world, because we're already top of the charts with our AI. We're already top in the charts with our Phoenix Elixir framework stuff. Will we top the chart even more again with this stream? I think so. It's going to be good. And if you want to say hello to us out in the world, in the community, you can always connect with us over on Discord. So going across the screen at the bottom there, that bit.ly link, check it out. You can chat with us. Parth's there. I'm there. The entire dev cycle company is there. And so please go and check that out. Parth, any final parting thoughts before we let our awesome crew, cast, viewership get out of here?
If you cannot find the dev cycle link or the Discord link, there is a link on our dashboard, which you can always use to join the Discord. So feel free to do that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was fun. It was nice looking at all of everybody's kind of ideas and DevTools DevCools.
I agree. All right. So with that, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. See you in an hour or in a couple of days. And at the very, very least, we will see you all around the dev cycle community. Bye-bye, everybody.
Don't go in there. They're having the let's try to figure out what customers want meeting again. It's gotten a little weird.
Signups are strong, but adoption of key features remains stagnant. What do you do?
We gotta merge that PR. Yeah, we have to. That's our only choice. Okay. We cast merge on the PR for the new dashboard. Oh no.
Your actions have caused the company to go viral for the wrong reason.
God.
Oh no, what do we do?
Roll for initiative.
I can't do that.
New features shouldn't be left to a roll of the dice. Use DevCycle to ship with low risk and instant rollbacks. Unrolls, re-rolls. How do we make this into a dice pun?